So I'm doing another response to Synthetic Man. I want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who help support the channel. Also, I want to say thank you to my Twitch subscribers. Help the channel out by donating or go to patreon.com. Thank you. So, Synthetic Man is a YouTuber that always have the curse idea of woke is bad and all that other good bullshit. And I think we did a video talking about his review of God of War Ragnarok, and yeah, I yeah, it I think it was synthetic man. Yeah, it was God of Synthetic Man cries God of World 2 woke. And I know this is just gonna be an even worse video. Oh my god, this is gonna be painful, guys. This is gonna be painful. Anyway, Synthetic Man is one of these edgy little boys. These edgy little boys that get upset about everything that's not just like looks like him in gaming. And so he has something to say about the most recent Microsoft gaming showcase. It's about a month and a half ago. Somebody actually told me to cover this, and I'm covering it now. Let's go.
Well, gaming is officially dead. I don't think I need to title any more videos. Gaming is dying. We have finally reached the final stage of life of the gaming industry, where despite showing hundreds of games, maybe a handful looked even remotely playable. I can't believe...
How do you know if they're playable or not, you dumb fuck? You just say you don't like the aesthetic. Just say you don't like the aesthetic and call it a day.
Believe how horrible this year's E3 was. And yes, I know it's not technically E3, but we got a bunch of presentations from all the major publishers except Nintendo, so it might as well be E3, right? Honestly, that was just beyond horrible. It felt like a colossal waste of time, right? Just like E3 2021. Despite the PlayStation Showcase not being good by any metric, I think almost all of the show...
Wait, the PlayStation Showcase was actually in some places okay. Spider-Man 2, that motherfucking demo was actually awesome. But let's go.
Those we saw here were actually significantly worse. At least there was 3 games that looked fairly interesting at the PlayStation Showcase. I don't think a single other show had that many. So if you watch the PlayStation Showcase video, you know how the rules work here.
I have a feeling you get beat up a lot in real life.
Shut up! Here I have power!
Right.
Thank you for subscribing.
Anyway.
Thank you for subscribing.
Counter again. Though if I broke down every show as thoroughly as I did the PlayStation one, this video would be well over an hour long, so I'm going to try to mostly just hit the highlights and condense the less interesting stuff or just skip it altogether. So without further ado, here's not E3 2023. So let's start off with the Xbox Showcase. Even though it wasn't the first, it was clearly the one that the most people were excited to see, given that Microsoft hasn't released any good exclusive games in years at this point and bought up so many studios, they would have to have something to show by now.
You would think they would have to have something to show by now, but it's not.
And of course, we already knew there would be a Starfield-specific showcase, so the normie Zoomer Bethesda fans, I'm sure, got super excited over that Starfield footage, but we'll cover that last, as it was at the end of the show. Unfortunately, the show started off in one of the worst ways it possibly could, by giving us a CG-only trailer of the much-anticipated Fable reboot, sequel, whatever. Despite being announced years ago at this point, it clearly was in some kind of development hell, as they still have no gameplay to show us. And this...
Okay, so this is pretty standard review of what he's saying. He hasn't mentioned the word woke yet, and we're already 2 minutes in the video, so yay, woohoo.
Trailer looked fucking horrible. This female protagonist looks ugly as shit, genuinely has a man face, and most of the trailer is stuck with this nerdy guy who I don't even remember where I've seen him before, some nerdy...
God, there we go. If the protagonist is not immediately fuckable,
and I got to try a little bit harder to masturbate, then it's, she's ugly.
TV show or movie or something. I don't care. He plays the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. Yes, they took the Fable title literally. It is now actually about fables. And now I'm actually glad I took the time to play Fable Anniversary a few months ago, so I now know this is not anything like Fable. This is clearly a complete reboot, Saints Row style, that doesn't appeal to fans of the original in any way. And how would we even know if it's a good game if we see no gameplay? So, truly a horrific trailer on multiple levels. Fable is dead again. The second game trailer.
But you don't know that. You just saw a CGI. You don't know what the gameplay is. You don't know what the story is. You just saw some story. All right, fuck. This dude is an idiot.
There was another CG one for South of Midnight, featuring a black female protagonist. At the very least, I can say the setting is appropriate. It seems to take place in a bayou, but I can't help but notice a pattern across all these various game trailer showcases over the past couple years seem to have a running theme. The next trailer was a new Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, featuring a...
He's upset because 2 of the games that he saw so far have a woman protagonist. What's so wrong with that? All right, let's go.
Female protagonist. Basically a Rule 63 version of Han Solo. And it's yet another CG trailer. Now, we do get to see gameplay for this during the Ubisoft Forward conference, which I'll cover later in this video, but I find it funny that the first 3 trailers have 0 gameplay in them. Very similar to Sony's. Then the Xbox presenter...
It's almost as if they knew what they were doing when they came... Oh my god, let's go.
Comes out, who, coincidentally, I'm sure, is also a black woman, and tells us how great Xbox fans are. All 5 of them.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Why would he just mention that? I played Echo once, yeah. I played it back on the Sega. But why does he have to mention that she's a black woman? Like, dude, calm your tits. It is many people of the diversity in the gaming industry. Like, what is that supposed to do? Oh my god.
I guess.
You are the heart and soul of Xbox. Your passion
okay,
drives
come on.
us,
This is
and
so
you are the
cringe.
inspiration for the visionaries whose
You are the
games we
heart and
showcase
soul of
today.
Xbox. Please give us
From
money.
me,
I mean, seriously, do Xbox fanboys even still exist? Or like Game Pass subscribers? That's what they should be called at this point. It's the only thing the brand's got going for it left. Then we're shown some indie game with 33-player co-op. No comment, really. And then finally, we see something kind of interesting with Payday 3. Finally, after milking DLC for like a decade, I guess they stopped making money on 2 and have to make 3. I'll probably play this with friends, so I'm not going to shit on it
But you just shitting. Oh my god, okay. Let's go.
or anything. That was one of the very few interesting games that were shown. Next up is the Persona 3 remake, and all I'm going to say is Persona 3 didn't need a remake. I played it all the way through and 4 a few years back, and they're...
How motherfucking self-centered do you have to be to realize that they just didn't make the game for you? Other people may want to play it. All right, let's go.
great games. I don't care if they're PS2 games and have more chibi-like graphics. It didn't need a fucking remake, Atlas. You're running out of ideas. I'm sure various aspects of the writing and the voice acting will be downgraded, though I know a lot of you weebs play with subtitles anyway. The point is, the game didn't need a fucking remake. Okay, moving on.
Wait, is insulting people just the only thing that he can do competently? Not good, just competent.
The next game showed was Avowed, which is Obsidian's Skyrim clone. Now, if this was shown a decade ago, I might have actually been pretty excited for it, but Obsidian hasn't made a good game in probably close to 10 years. Outer Worlds was fucking horrible, some of the worst writing I've ever seen in an RPG.
No, it was just too deep for you to understand. That was going on. It was too deep for you to understand. Well, let's go.
PG, just blatant capitalism bad. And you gotta realize Obsidian doesn't have almost any of the people working for it that were there when New Vegas was being developed, okay? It happens to all these studios. They make some great games, and then years later, when all those people have retired or moved to another company or got promoted out of a real creative role, then their games go to shit. I've seen it happen a million times by now. There's no reason to think this game will be good. The next couple games weren't anything interesting, and then we get to the second Hellblade game again, and no, I'm not going to play it, and I'm not going to play the first either. I don't care how good the story is. It's obviously another cinematic movie game.
Okay. Alright. He's just giving a rundown. Okay, let's go.
I don't want to play any of these unless I absolutely have to. If you enjoy it, that's fine. I fucking hate movie games. You should know this by now. Then there's a trailer for yet another Fallout 76 expansion. I cannot believe people are still playing that game. Then we get a reveal for the new Capcom game, Path of the Goddess, with a clear Eastern-inspired aesthetic. I'll be honest, with what little gameplay was shown here, I wasn't really sold on it, but Capcom is pretty good with action games, so there's actually a pretty good chance this will end up being...
I mean, like, at least they're selling it. They're actually trying to make it where it's presentable, even if you don't like it.
A good game. Then nothing interesting was shown for nearly 10 minutes, though I do find it hilarious that Blizzard wants to charge money for the co-op campaign that they promised before release of Overwatch 2. Truly the...
And again, this is one of those things where just like, I don't trust Blizzard or Activision to actively do what they were supposed to do. But let's go.
Scummiest company in gaming right now. Then we get shown another Starfield trailer, which I'm not going to talk about because there's a huge showcase at the end of the Xbox showcase, so no point in really going into it now. Then we see that Don't Nod, the creators of Life is Strange, are actually working on 2 games. They're working on that weird Banisher game where you have the dead black wife, and they're also working on some kind of climbing puzzle action game or something. Looks pretty generic. Then finally, another vaguely interesting game was shown, Still Wakes the Deep, a horror game taking place on an oil rig by the creators of Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of A Machine for Pigs, but it wasn't terrible by any stretch, so maybe this horror game will be fun to play. At least it'll make for a good stream game anyway. Then a bit later, we get yet another trailer for the new Cyberpunk 2077 expansion, and if you're one of the...
Dude, I'm tired, and yeah, he's a fucking dick. Anyway, guys, like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna cut this segment here. And, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm about to fall asleep because he's a boring dick. And you can be a dick, but you can be boring. Or you can be boring, but you can't be both. Anyway.
I want to whiff that gunk you're getting all up on that chair. I mean, like, yeah, sure.
Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.